Hello viewers, my name is Tui Ogedembe. For those of you who are fans of Peter Fonda, by now you've heard that he passed away on Friday the 16th of August. It was a real painful shock to me. I couldn't believe it when I heard about his passing. I've been a big fan of this man ever since I first saw him in the movie Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. Peter Fonda was the son of Oscar winner Henry Fonda and the brother of two-time Oscar winner Jane Fonda. He became a Hollywood icon after starring in the 1969 classic hit movie Easy Rider, and after that he made many more successful movies in the 1970s, such as Wonder Nevada, which his co-star was his own father Henry Fonda, The Hired Hand, which he made his directorial debut, and the cult horror thriller Ride with the Devil. But in the 1980s, he made movies that were not well received, and his career seemed to have wound down. But he made a triumphant return in the 1990s after starring in the 1997 movie Uly's Gold, for which he won a Best Actor Golden Globe Award and received a Best Actor Oscar nomination. The man was such an icon to me. I truly loved his work. So I'm making this video why I love this man. Here are my top 5 favorite Peter Fonda movies. The Victor. It's a 1963 black and white movie directed by Carl Foreman. It's set during the World War II. It stars an ensemble cast of Americans and European actors such as George Peppard, Eli Wallach, George Hamilton, Romy Scheider, Santa Berger, Elke Sommer, and John Murray. Peter Fonda has a supporting role in it. It's a very small role, but his performance is the highlight of the movie. He even received his first Golden Globe nomination for his part. Now, this movie is somewhat an anti-war movie. It's about American soldiers facing grim reality of war, followed by witnessing the brutality that is happening in their unit, such as white American soldiers assaulting black American soldiers, and German women being exploited sexually by Americans and Russians. Peter Fonda's role in this movie, he plays a new recruit who enters the war way too late, much to the annoyance of his fellow soldiers. He's harassed by his fellow soldiers, and he's also chastised by his captain, played by George Hamilton. Now, Fonda gives a great performance. He held his own against superstar George Hamilton. His performance in it proves that he was going to go far as one of the greatest actors. But unlike his father Henry Fonda and Jane Fonda, who at that time Henry Fonda was a big superstar, and Jane Fonda's acting career was on the rise. Peter was starting out as a leading actor. He made his 1961 Broadway debut, and then made his first movie called Tammy and the Doctor, and it was followed by this movie, The Victor. And critics believe that his great performance in this movie would lead him to more leading roles and become a Hollywood leading actor like Henry Fonda. Well, the critics are right; it did lead him to more leading roles, but as a typical Hollywood actor, they were so wrong. Peter Fonda became more than that. The Trip. It's one of the counterculture oriented movies that Peter Fonda starred in. It's a 1967 movie directed by Roger Corman about a young director played by Peter Fonda who takes LSD drugs and starts having a bad trip. Now, this movie doesn't have much of a story. It's just basically about a young man who spends the entire 85 minutes in the movie hallucinating and seeing images that is not there after he takes the drugs, and it ends with him becoming his normal self after the drugs run out. Now, this movie is not really a great movie, but it is a good movie mostly because of Peter Fonda. He gives a great performance in it. So if you fans have not seen this one, you should check it out. You will love his performance. The Limey. It's a 1999 neo-noir crime drama directed by Steven Soderbergh. It's about a British ex-con who goes to Los Angeles to investigate the death of his daughter. After he discovered that his daughter was murdered by a drug trafficker, he decides to avenge her death. The Limey is a slang used by Americans when they're describing a British. The same with the British using the word yank as a slang for the Americans. It stars British actor Terence Stamp as the ex-con and Peter Fonda as the drug trafficker. Now, this movie was not a commercial success when it got released, but it received critical acclaim, especially the performances of British actor Terence Stamp and American actor Peter Fonda, two iconic actors from the 1960s. It is Peter Fonda's best performance since his Oscar-nominated role Ulysses Gold, and it's also Steven Soderbergh's masterpiece. This movie is not to be missed. Please check this out if you haven't seen it. The Wild Angels. This 1966 movie, directed by Roger Corman, started the biker film genre in the 1960s to the early 1970s. It stars Peter Fonda as the member of the Hells Angels biker gang. Now, I'm not a big fan of biker movies where biker gangs wreak havoc from one small town to another small town, but I love this movie a lot. This is what made Peter Fonda a big star to the culture society. He gives a great performance, but my all-time favorite scene is when his character, nicknamed Heavily Blues, loses his temper during a funeral of his friend. He disrupts a minister's sermon by giving this awesome speech where he tells the minister that him and his fellow Hells Angels want to have a good time. They want to be free and they want to party all the time. This leads to an out of control party that leads to drugs and a brutal rape of a female Hells Angels. This is a great movie. You should definitely watch this movie if you haven't seen it. And this is one of Fonda's first movie where he plays a biker who rides his motorcycle across America. And his second movie is the one that made him such an icon, and that's the 1969's Easy Rider. Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, and Jack Nicholson. They were all born to be wild. The success of this movie secured all three actors into superstardom. It's directed by Dennis Hopper, who co-wrote the script with Fonda and Terry Southern. All three of them received Oscar nominations for Best Original Screenplay, and Jack Nicholson received his first Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. This $400,000 budget movie became a massive success. It grossed $40 million in the US and $60 million worldwide. It turned Peter Fonda into such a super iconic actor. This movie is about two freewheeling bikers, Wyatt played by Peter Fonda and Billy played by Dennis Hopper. They ride their motorcycle across America. They sell drugs, they experience drugs, they pick up hitchhikers, they befriend a southern lawyer played by Nicholson, and they get harassed by racist police officers and thugs. Now, this movie is Peter Fonda's true masterpiece. It is my all-time favorite movie. It just blew my mind away when I first saw it in Commodore, Illinois during my college years. If you viewers have not seen this movie, you are missing out completely. So please watch this movie. It is a great movie. This movie is the reason why Peter Fonda became such an iconic figure. Please watch it. Check it out. It's fantastic. Peter Fonda's passing is a great sadness to me and all his fans. My condolences goes to his family. Rest in peace, Easy Rider. Peace out.